All right, fellas, the birds are chirping, the worms are digging, and the flowers are rustling. Could you guys believe that? I believe that everything that I say at the beginning of the podcast is literally not planned. I just say it.
Yeah, I can believe that.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not write that. I did not script that. That's not been scripted. I don't know if I have any fun, interesting facts to start the pod with. How'd you guys feel today? It's Memorial Day, so it's a holiday today. So, and I keep forgetting that. I woke up this morning, and I was like, it feels like something is today, and then I didn't realize until I got into work that it was an important day.
Confirm. Jared does not care about memorials. We can confirm that right now.
I'm not a patriot, I guess.
It's alright.
Yeah.
It was a weird day. It was like got a thunderstorm and now super sunny, so I'm nice. I'm like, oh, I'm really glad it's nice outside. You can hear the birds chirping now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice way to end your day.
Yeah. It's hot as fuck. That's for sure. We all worked today, and it was wasn't that crazy, but I just realized that just a lot of people don't go to stores that much anymore. They're just fucking shopping online and shit, and that's just how it is. That's the world today. But what people are doing is they're listening to Karma and Tranquility, and that's really fucking cool. And we love you guys for it. And this week we bring you another beautiful episode of Karma and Tranquility. Let's get into it. Everybody do your little claps. Yes! 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 Fuck yes! I did not have soda this episode, so my throat's not going to be all clogged, which is a good thing.
How come you didn't have soda? How come you didn't have soda this time?
Well, I had soda earlier during lunch.
Saw you.
No, but I mean like
soda.
Now. Like I got all
you
the
drank
phlegm
it
out.
earlier. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I meant like right now. Like I didn't have soda like before I started the pod. Whereas
You don't
like
overdo it?
Yeah, because if I have like soda for some reason, it just like it gets my throat all sticky, and I'm like.
Will's having soda now, so we'll see how. If that affects anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Will's been good. It's just me.
Soda gets me kicking for a little minute. Soda gets my brain like active for like 10 minutes. Then it's like crash.
What does that mean?
So you're like a World War Z zombie.
No, well, nah. Kinda.
Oh.
Nah or kinda? Which one is it?
I'm not a zombie, I'm alive.
Yeah. Manny, how'd you like your whipped cream water?
Jared, I'm never trusting you again. You ruined all trust. Now I will be inspecting.
I couldn't have given you a more clear indicator that it was fucked with.
Yeah, I mean, I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I thought it was ice. For those that don't understand what we're saying, Jared gave me a cup of water with whipped cream on top. It wasn't a lot, though. It was just enough that you would kind of look at it and be like,
but there was a lot on the outside to give you like a little idea.
No, because I think like by the time that you got up here, it melted. Like I don't know, but I will say it did look a little.
Did you look at it and think about it?
No, I went like this. Like I looked at it as like it was tilting into my mouth. I'm like, well, I'm already here.
I thought you gave him a whole cup of whipped cream and he was just drinking.
Bro, I wish I did that. Oh my god, it would have so much better. See, stupid shit is what I like. I love tricks like that. It's not harmful. It's not too gross. Just so fucking stupid. That's what I care about.
Well, just prepare yourself because I'm gonna have to retaliate. So just be ready for that.
Okay.
That was funny though.
But that's a dessert. That's a treat. So.
Yo, we did have something exciting happen. We met someone.
Oh yes.
We met someone.
Yes.
We saw someone and we freaking met him.
I'll let you tell about
no,
that.
Heck no, that's your dude. That's your story.
Well, I'll tell that. But when you guys open the door for little Bronson, because he's gonna start wheezing and whining and scratching and all that kind of shit. Welcome, pup. Yeah, everybody. Me and Will went to a Rufus Wainwright concert. If you know shit about music, you know who that guy is. He's a legendary singer-songwriter. And the show was amazing. It was incredible. Will cried a couple times. I cried a couple times. It's beautiful. And he's the coolest, funniest, just charismatic guy that I've seen in a long time. And he plays the piano, sings, and then goes to play the guitar and sings. He'll just walk from the guitar to the piano, and even the way he walked to it was just graceful, and he was just all right, here we go, time for guitar, and I do this, I do that, and he's just the fun, like the coolest guy. But anyway, we were hanging out after the show, and we were just hanging out in the back, and I was about ready to be like, all right, let's go, because I was like, there's no way he's just gonna come out, like he probably left by now. But Will was like, do you just want to like walk around the town like before we get going? And I was like sure, like I guess. But if Will didn't say that, we wouldn't have fucking gone.
To
so
explore. It was a really cute town. Like the lights were nice. It was like a small little town. Like I don't know how to describe it.
It looked like the Call of Duty Zombies town. Like it was just like really
terminus,
nice. Yeah,
the bus kind of.
Well, the one with the like movie theater and stuff, like that map. Yeah, that's what it looked like. So we go around the side, and there's like this small group waiting. Where I'm like, oh fuck, this is it. And I brought my record, which is one of my favorite albums of all time, one of his, and I brought that with me just in case this happened. And I brought a silver marker with me too. Like I have like Sharpies for shit like this. And I go, and he fucking comes out, and he's the nicest guy. He's like, hey guys, what's up? And he's like, he doesn't sound anything like that, but he's like, hey guys, what's up?
You know, like that did sound like a cowboy.
Yeah, and he comes over to us first, and he comes over to us. I'm like, dude, this is I couldn't believe it. And now it's up on my wall, and it's signed, and it was fucking crazy.
Oh, they made the picture too.
No, the album there, it's framed, but like it was fucking crazy. He didn't get the signature right the first time, so he signed it twice.
Was it right outside the venue, or like where were you?
Outside the venue. Yeah, it was a smaller venue. It was like a theater.
Wondering why he knew that you guys were fans.
It was like a whole
It was a group there.
Okay.
Yeah,
so like,
a group of people.
Because you could imagine like the reverse of that. Like imagine you're an artist and you come out like, oh hey guys, and everyone's just like.
It was a side of it wasn't on the main street. It was on the side of the venue. So like no one would just be hanging out where we were just waiting there.
Okay.
He had just like a little black SUV that was on the side of the theater, when we were like, oh, that's probably. I didn't know until I saw the group there. I'm usually pretty good with that stuff, but I kind of forgot that like. We're not fucking meeting the Beatles here. Like, it's not like a giant tour bus or something that's going to be there, so...
That's why I was like, wait, where would he go?
Yeah, that's what we were confused about. But we literally just walked around the corner and that was there. Like, we just completely lucked out. Yeah, the timing, we waited like 5 minutes for him to come out. And it was there, and it happened, and it was fucking crazy. That was nuts. He's a big inspiration for me musically, so that was just... It's crazy it went down that easily, because we've... been there for the Arctic Monkeys with much less people, and they didn't even come say hi to us. So, Alex Turner, if you listen to this podcast, I'm thinking about you. That probably ruined my chances to completely ever meet them.
Yeah,
but listen, you came out and you're walking
to get a restraining order.
Yeah, you were coming to the bus and you didn't come over to say hi, and I'm sad about it. Anyway, guys, let's get into the episode. Let's get in the episode. That was a good intro. Today we are doing New York City Cops and From the Ritz to the Rubble. So, another two pretty fast-paced songs. I think we started with The Strokes last time, if I'm not mistaken. So let's start with the Arctic Monkeys this time. So, From the Ritz to the Rubble, bless you, Brendan. What do we have any pre-thoughts on this song? Manny, do you have any thoughts on this song before we get started? Does this one have any special place for you? Any memories here?
I think that, so ironically, without getting too much into it, like I feel like this song is really loved amongst like people that love this album. I don't love it that much. You know what I mean? Like it's one of like, I get it, it's good, but it's not like one that I hold like super high up there compared to some of the other ones. But I feel like it's definitely like the first time that I felt that way with Arctic Monkeys of like, oh, like with usually I'm on the same page with that kind of stuff. This is like the first one where I'm like, all right. Yeah, I don't want to get too
before
much
we get too into it. Yeah,
but
yeah, let's give this bad boy a listen. What do we think? Let's do it. All right, that was From the Ritz to the Rubble, released in 2006 when the album released. It was not a single or anything like that. I did forget to mention this song has 161 million streams on Spotify, so pretty fucking hefty in terms of streams on this one. That one, I feel like just every song on this album is made for a live performance. Like this song, like just like many of them on this album, I can imagine sounds just fucking incredible, like live. And we've heard a couple of them, but not a lot of them from this album for some reason. They just don't play a lot. But yeah, that another fun, loud rocking song. I think it's. I know you have a lot of notes there, Manny. Manny. Well,
it follows
clubbing again in Sheffield. A lot of that is what this one has to do with. So a lot of this album is a lot of their like experiences within like that type of scene. But what do you have in your notes here before? Well, actually, first of all, what's our first initial like thoughts on this one from the jump?
It's interesting how, man, they said, like, this one's really popular with, like, you said, like, the fans and everything. Mm-hmm. This one, I feel like I've been listening to the Monkees probably, like 2 or 3 years now, so I guess not as long either. Mm-hmm. And so I don't really listen to this song that much, especially, like, this album. But this one's really good. I agree with you, especially. Do you like this one? Yeah. Especially, like, that's how I've written down, like, hearing this live. Like, imagine hearing this live, like, now, like, if they went on tour this year, and they played this song in the middle of, like, the whole thing. Everyone would fucking lose their mind.
Yeah.
Like, hearing this song. So that's is one of those songs where it's just, like, it just gets the crowd going. It's really cool. Like,
yeah,
it's awesome.
It is one that, I mean, you're right. Like, I know I've listened to interviews of people. There was a Zane Lowe interview from Apple where he said, where he talked about this song a lot, how he heard this one live, and he was like, oh my God, it was fucking amazing. So, like, people who do like the Monkees talk about this one a lot.
Yeah, this is a really popular song. And don't get me wrong, it's a great song. It's phenomenal. A lot of people think it's, like, the best song on this album. Like, it's like a top... Some people would put this in their top 10 Arctic Monkey songs. And, like, you know, not... You know, if you want to put it in the lower end of the 10, like, closer to 10, like, I wouldn't argue that, like, for me personally. Because it is a really good song. I just think that I don't resonate with it as much as a lot of the other ones. Yeah. If that makes sense.
It does. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's... I think it's really... I did notice how well produced this one is. Like, they didn't do a lot to overcomplicate it or undercomplicate it. Like, there's a moment in, like, the bridge before I went into the guitar solo. Like, it changes a whole, like, key and a whole, like, tempo to, like, get to it. And it was pretty cool. Like, you don't hear a lot of, like, bridge changes from them this early. Later on, like, all the time. But in this album, like, usually the bridge is just them... like switching the chords down, but they're still going the same like pace, like like they change like the instead of going back up to what it would do, but this one like slowed down the tempo and then it like builds up to the guitar solo, which I appreciate any song that includes a guitar solo in it. That's an added bonus for anything for me, especially because how much I do love live shows. When you get to that part, like when you're watching it live. Oh my God, I just love listening to guitar solos live. Just that everyone like fucking flips out, and you know there's usually a breakdown, and the lights go down, and they go up, and the drummers are going fucking crazy. Matt's going crazy, and so I do appreciate that.
That's what I like too. Like it has a lot of like building up, and sometimes it's just the guitar.
Yeah,
like it has like a lot of build ups throughout the whole song, and then it gets to that solo. It's like oof, it's really refreshing.
What stood out to you guys in terms of instruments off the bat?
They feel like drums. Is it like really like drum heavy song? Drum and guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for me it's mainly the I would say the guitars. Yeah, Alex's voice too is interesting in this one just because it's very like when you hear his current like interviews or their music, like he doesn't speak like this. It's not as like heavy on the accent, I feel like. And then he uses like a lot of slang in this one.
Yeah.
That again he doesn't really use now. It's kind of like when you're kids, you talk different, right? You kind of grow out of those ways of speaking, but this is still like a very young Alex Turner, and so it's very you could notice that right off the bat throughout the whole song. It's a very heavy Alex Turner song.
It is just crazy, like how much he's like evolved, like vocally. Some people, I guess, would go as far as saying he's devolved vocally. I've seen a lot of that, which is kind of sad. But I don't think he's devolved. That's definitely not true. I know opinion is opinion, but I really think that opinion is wrong. He hasn't lost his ability to sing. It's clear, because if you like the band, you listen to him, we literally saw them live. Like, he can still sing this stuff just as good. It's just he's gone a more mature route with like a different style.
Yeah, that like tempo and tone wouldn't work for what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And in songs like this, it's almost like he's not even like don't know that I would say this is singing in this song. No. It really is like he's talking a lot of the time, but he has like a good way of speaking, and so it flows with the song. But it's not like now he sings a lot. It's very, vocal heavy in that type of but yeah, so I don't think he's devolved either. No. Like, I think that's unfair to say, but
what's crazy, like as like someone who sings, these songs are easier to sing than a lot of the stuff that he's doing now. Because like with this, you can just like you can yell and you can still sound okay with these songs, but with the stuff that they're doing now, like a lot of the stuff from AM and on, like the stuff that he does, I mean, you can even say like Humbug and on, like is much tougher to sing than it is to do stuff like this.
Yeah, especially like his current stuff, like some of those notes that he's hitting. It's not like a note that like the average person's gonna hit. Like you'll notice a difference there.
Yeah. For me, I mean, obviously the bass was big in this one.
The ending was cool.
Yeah,
like,
they kind of isolated everything else.
Yeah,
Yep.
you could hear it right on there. Yeah.
What's funny is like that bass sounded like it was from fucking GarageBand though. Like you get like my bass sounds like that when I plug it into my laptop.
It's funny that you say that because like they probably wrote and developed this song in a garage.
Yeah,
like legit. Like
something like that.
That was their upbringing, was just like, you know,
the lo-fi shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Or so the low tech like type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. But yeah, I use GarageBand and like my bass sounded like that. Like when you just isolate it, they pretty much just muted the whole thing besides the bass, and they just like so. For some reason, I didn't remember like how prominent the bass is in this one, so I do love that. And if the bass is good, I always gotta go with that one. Like I do appreciate a good bass line in a song like that. Especially when the rest of the song is a lot of and then you still have time to do that like during the verses. Like the verses flow so well into the chorus, then you got the like I love the slide action on basses. I love that shit. But yeah, so the bass is for sure what stood out to me. Will, what do you got here?
It kind of is gonna lead to the lyrics, but I like how you said his voice too, especially in the beginning where there's no music going. It sounds like he's like reading poetry.
Yeah.
And the way he said it is like really like it's smooth. It's just cool, and then they have the music kicks in.
Yeah, I think like so. One thing, since like you're not familiar with the song, I just thought of it as you said that, and I don't know how much of this you guys know, but Alex Turner was like very heavily influenced. He said in his early years by like hip hop.
Oh,
yeah, he.
Well, you really get that later down the line.
Yeah, you get it later, but like this is like a little taste of that because it's almost like he's freestyling in the beginning. You know?
A little. That's
Yeah, it's cool.
Like imagine us like hearing this live in the middle of it. He's like, well, last night these two battles. Everyone's like, wow.
Yeah,
because they know the song.
And there's no music going yet. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, that's a good observation. That's great.
I was listening to this morning. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like the intro where he's just talking. I was like, oh shit, that's cool.
What do we got for Will's lyrics section?
Ooh. Let me see. I didn't really write down that lyric. There's just so much. He doesn't talk about food in this one.
Damn it.
Unfortunately.
No food count.
The streak is broken.
Yeah. Fuck.
Are you sure?
No, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
I'll double check. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think there is. Jared, stop fucking yawning, you piece of shit. Sorry.
Hold on a second. What if Ritz is like a double play? Because he's not just talking about like the club.
But Ritz crackers.
Ritz crackers is thrown in there underneath.
I'll fucking take it, man. You know I will.
The streak continues. It keeps going.
I'll take any excuse
to
keep that streak alive.
That song's about crackers.
Yes.
100%.
Crackers, yeah.
It all makes sense.
For anyone who really doesn't know what the Ritz is, it's a club, right? It's a show or it's a venue. I know I looked that up to make sure. Yeah, the Ritz is a live music venue in Manchester. So that makes sense with what they were getting at there. I knew it was something like that.
Yeah. And literally, like it's a song about like fighting.
Yeah, he gets turned away from the clubs. Like that song is him narrating like his experience getting turned away from the club to a girl. That's why I'm saying from the Ritz to the Rubble. So like they kicked him out to the streets. Definitely that intro from the lyrics part. Just the whole intro where he's like, last night these two bouncers, one of them's all right, the other one's scared. His way or no way, totalitarian. So it sounds like kind of like hip hop, like he's almost rapping.
Yeah.
And there's another one that I really like. Oh, you're saying to walk back past 10,000 eyes in a line, and you could swap jumpers and make another move. Like meaning he's gonna try to swap someone like outfit and try it again, get in the club again. It's kind of funny trying to like picture Alex doing it. He's like, all right guys, get your jacket, and he just puts on like glasses or whatever.
In like quizzing us on what the fuck they're talking about in the UK. What the hell's a duff?
Oh, like an ass, like an arse. Like they gave him the duff, so kicked him out on his ass.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I didn't
Okay.
know that one.
Nice.
Like how Americans are like, oh, this is ass or this is garbage or
Yeah.
kind of
Wow.
like that. That's how it got out of it. At
Yeah,
least.
Steve Buscemi.
Mhm.
Cool.
That's
so
only
if we
lyrics
see
I
Will
really
at
liked.
work and he's like, "This is Duff."
Yeah.
Like,
Almost
we'll know what
He
he
didn't
means.
say tough. He meant duff.
Right, he said Duff, guys. That's all right.
Yep.
I would. Oh, before we move on,
Okay.
I want to say this song kind of reminds me of, was it "The Howlin' for You" by the Black Keys? Just that song's a little bit slower, but like the way it goes, especially at the end where he's like, da, 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 like he
Yeah,
does, like,
I
kinda
know
sings with the
exactly what you're
crowd.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
I don't
see
know
that.
what
And the
talking
guitar is like
No.
almost similar.
Black Keys. That's a good shout out.
That is. I know the band. I just for some reason don't
Howlin' for
remember
You?
the song that you're talking about.
Oh, what's
That's
it?
like
Come
their.
on,
Big,
you
I
would-
feel like
you
that's
would
their
know it,
biggest
yeah.
song.
You probably haven't heard in a while.
How's it go?
I play that in Warehouse a lot.
Is it the
It's like
Is it the wouldn't it be nice if I'm just kidding. I know that. Well,
You know
the
what?
little does it. Oh! I got it. It's like the Fratillas.
I don't know what song you're talking
I
about.
sent you the Fratillas.
Yeah,
They're the
but
ones that are they're the.
Fratillas.
I don't know if I'm on top of my head. Oh, I love that song.
Yeah. I don't know if I've shown you. Have you listened to that whole album? That album's fucking
I
perfect.
only have
Oh, I
heard
think
that one
it's stuck in my head.
song.
Oh, what? I sent that to Will a long time ago. We're jumping the wait. We gotta save this for the end of the pod to talk about. Shit.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Anyway, I sent Will this is all I'll say. I sent Will a playlist like a long time ago where it had a lot of people that were similar, like from the UK, and I
Okay.
had the Arctic Monkeys, the Fratillas, is that Fratillas, and then the Smiths and Pulp or something like that, and
I was looking at it.
and then another one. And what was it called? I forget what the podcast was, or what the playlist was called.
It was. I just wanted to be one of the Strokes. And
Yeah.
It was like him giving like a glass of milk, or what was it?
Yeah,
beer or something?
yeah, something like that. Yeah, and it was just a bunch of like UK people that sounded alike in the playlist. This is before I even knew you, but I sent that to him. But it was a Spotify playlist. I don't even know if I have it anymore.
It's in the chat. That's like when we first started. We were just
yeah.
like talking about stuff.
Yeah, and the Fratillas, but like the Fratillas remind me of the Arctic Monkeys with the way because they have a really hefty accent in that album where the way they sing and speak sounds exactly the way that they do in this album. So that's what I was thinking about.
That's pretty good. I agree, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't know what song you're talking about.
Is that all you got on your Will's lyric section for this bad boy?
Yeah, just it's kind of that's all the lyrics that really like resonated with me. That I liked.
Okay. Manny, do you have anything on
About
those?
the lyrics?
Yeah.
No, I think like that's part of the reason why like I always like this song wasn't my favorite, just because like when I heard it, I'm like 15, like I'm not going to the club,
Yeah.
I'm not fighting, you know, like whatever that was, you know. Is that what was that?
It was the video I pulled up to look at the comments. And it was just
okay.
that. For some reason. It was the perfect sound, like a fucking stormtrooper getting killed.
So
Yeah. all right. Let's get to some fan comments about this bad boy. Chris09045 said the intro is one of the best in their whole discography. I do agree the intro is pretty damn strong. Georgie B123 said great song, bassline is one of the best by them in my opinion. One of my favorite songs off of this album. Scary Golf said thoughts ? It's a fucking banger. That's my thought. It's a good thought. Nobody Understood Gas said I have this continuous fear I'll never be able to attend a singular Arctic Monkeys concert after they settle down, so I just watch these lives. It'll happen, man. They're not done. If they were done, they would have said it by now. They would have said something after the car. If anything, I think they have at least one more in them if they're going to do another one. But I will tell you, getting tickets to them is a fucking nightmare. Because I was on an hour and a half early to get those tickets, and I still didn't get tickets. We had to buy resale tickets, like, at the end of we bought them, like, 2 weeks or something. Was it 2 weeks? Or, like, a month or something before the show?
Before,
Yeah, and we paid, like, $400 for the seats that we had, and they weren't, like, premium seats, and they were still that expensive. So, all I can say is make sure you're on it, like Donkey Kong. That's all I can fucking say. Architect said my favorite. I like the 2006 Oxygen video on YouTube. They're playing it even faster. I'll have to check that out. Acrorex 5000 said among my favorite What People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not songs. I don't know what it is exactly, but it sounds so stylish and cool. Bulky Elk 7243 said goated, based, W Riz, Chad drums, and bass. Nice. Love that. good comments on this song, guys. We appreciate the feedback there. We moving on to rankings. Will, what do you got?
For this song?
Mm-hmm.
Bueller. My spirit says 4.4. I was looking at because I did rank it earlier, and I was like, and I was like speaking from my heart earlier when I was taking my notes, and I was like, does my heart still resonate with it?
Did you write down a certain ranking? Or?
Yeah.
Or did you raise it?
At first, I wrote 4.0, so that's a good question. I had it at 4.0, and then after giving it a couple listens today, it's at 4.4.
Okay. Manny, what do you got?
That's funny because I was going to put it at a 4.0 too, but then I started to think about it. I'm like, it's probably better than a 4.0. I'm going to say 4.2.
4.2?
Yep. 4.2 for me.
So, Will, you're 4.3, Manny, you're 4.2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You guys are killing me here. It was good. I don't know if I'm going to quite be where you guys are at.
I would rate it higher. It's just that there's some songs I like and deserve a better rate than this. That's what and yeah, that's just real.
Well, there's only one song left on this album.
On this album.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like the whole discography.
Yeah. I didn't think of it ahead of time.
It's okay.
This is a toughie. I'm gonna give it a 3.9. Done. That's it. That's how I feel. It's really good. It's fun. But it's just one of those songs where like I nothing like really really stuck out. Like, oh, I love that part. You know what I mean? Like usually a 4 and above, I can be like, there's a part where I just really absolutely loved, and this one I didn't really have something that was specifically stuck out. But like doesn't make it a bad song. I still enjoyed it. Like I would play this song again.
Mm-hmm.
But after first listen in a long time, like that's about where I'm at there on that one. I think, as we kind of said, like there's better songs on this one. I think for what we got there. It is a fast paced song, which I like. I like their fast paced songs on this album. And like honestly, and I've rarely said this. This is more of a Manny thing. But I know if I listen to this maybe a couple more times, I feel like it might boost a couple points. So I will say that. Like I will give it that. Like it could be easily a 4.2. Like or 4.1 or something like that, but at the moment 3.9. I don't think that's too unfair for that. But that was from the Ritz to the Rubble. Should I ask my classic question I always ask?
What was that?
Did we forget anything?
No, yeah. We'll do pretty good.
No. No?
Yeah, we did.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh. What, the Sigma?
Shout out to Brian.
Brian.
We have to have him as an outsider guest on this podcast.
Oh,
because I know he doesn't listen to this type of music.
Yeah.
So like it would be, imagine all the things he would say that would just probably be something we never could ever think of about what we're listening to. That's how I could picture it.
Yeah.
He'd be like, oh, well, I think that sounded like this, and I would be like, oh my god, it does.
I think his favorite artist is like Kanye West.
Yeah, he's pretty based on the rap stuff.
Yeah. So that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. All right, guys, let's move on to the Strokes. We were doing New York City Cops, the problematic single, you could say. This song was replaced due to 9/11, right? Manny, you told me this story. What was it? They replaced it because of that. It's on a version of Is This It on the LP, but it wasn't released on the original version or something.
Yeah, I think I read that it was still released in the UK at the proper time. But in the US, they were like, no, we can't. We can't release this here, especially now, and especially a band based out of New York. Like it's just gonna be bad press for you guys. You don't want that right now. Yeah. And I remember that time very well. Like everybody was fucking obviously amped up about everything. So like, if you did anything offensive like that at that time, like, I think even like casual people that aren't like, super patriotic would have just canceled you right there. Like, they would have been the first examples of cancel culture, like for sure.
Yeah.
So I think they played it safe and were just like, yeah, okay. They didn't really care about the UK crowd or anything like that though, which I find interesting. I wonder like how that conversation, because you would think like, hey, let's just shelf the song
Yeah.
together for now. We'll release it.
It's one of their most
down the line.
popular songs now.
Right, right.
Like,
yeah.
Because Will, I don't know if you took. I was a bad boy this week with my my note taking. So I'm sorry. But I'm curious when this actually released.
I could check.
Because I know we'll double check. Let's give this thing a listen. But before we do, 29.2 million streams. Isn't it crazy? Like how much more? I feel like the Arctic Monkeys' first record has gotten a lot. Maybe it's because they're newer, so they're closer to the age of like young people who are streaming and something like that. I don't know. Or maybe I think the Arctic Monkeys, and correct me if I'm wrong, like took more of a mainstream attention because of AM. Does that make sense?
Fair.
So I think that's why a lot of people jumped on that early. Because, like, the Strokes didn't really do a mainstream... Of course, their stuff was mainstream back when it came out in the early 2000s. But, like, The New Abnormal didn't come out till 2020.
I feel like anything after, like, Angles was not, like, a mainstream... If you followed the Strokes, you knew. But it wasn't, like, something that, like, everybody just kind of knew was going on in the music scene. So I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's, like, it's crazy. I'm not saying either one... Like, but, like, it's weird when I look at these first albums with how... highly acclaimed both of these records are. AM got ranked, what was it, number 58 or something, like on the top 100 Apple albums of all time. It's always on other lists, but so is this it was like 68. But AM was just such a like modern blast that just put them...
that's just like recency bias.
Maybe. It probably is. Well, a lot of the people that were on that fucking panel are, like, not older than 40. Like, they're younger. Like, so, I don't know.
Yeah.
And also Zane Lowe's on that podcast, and that guy fucking likes everything. But anyway, New York City Cops. Let's give this guy a listen. We'll have more about it. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Wee, let's go. Alright, that was New York City Cops by the Strokes. This song, I think we got the details. It came out on June 25th, 2001, double A side. And it was released on like the international versions of the album, but taken off of the US versions for obvious reasons that we talked about with the tragedy 9/11, because of looking at the response to how the officers kind of, were quick to respond, and I'm kind of reading off of Wikipedia with that type of thing, but so they figured it was better, so they replaced it with When It Started, which is newly recorded. What's funny to me, guys, this song doesn't sound to me like it belongs on
I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
I was literally thinking that.
No matter what, it doesn't think that it belongs on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
do you
the
think
way
it would sound like the next album though?
I don't think it does.
No.
I think it sounds exactly what it is. It sounds like a song they would write for like a movie or like a show or like something like that. Like it sounds like that. The way that it's produced and made and the way that it sounds. It doesn't sound as analog as like Is This It sounds to me. Like it's a little bit more hefty. So to me, no matter what, it didn't really sound like it would belong in there anyway. It obviously I know that it's from that era. But yeah, and what's funny is like I haven't listened to this song in so long that I forgot all the weird like improv in the beginning of the song. It just reminds me of fucking Mick Jagger on Sympathy for the Devil when he's just like like all fucking weird ass noise in the beginning. But yeah, I mean that's a fun song. What do you guys got? First thoughts here.
I really like the opening where like.
Yeah.
I don't know what would you call that. Is there like a term?
The Star Trek theme song.
No, it's not that.
It sounded like you were playing the theremin.
You know what I mean? It's like it sounds like the guitar strings like being pulled, and it's like.
Well, I don't know if there's like a name for it unless I'm just blanking on it. I know.
I love when like a song.
A hammer-on is what they do when you like push up a string.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot I have in terms of the way this song is constructed that I'd like to mention, like talk about like musically. But Manny, what do you think? When's the last time you heard this song?
Oh gosh, it's been years.
Really?
Yeah, it's been years.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't really. This is not like. And again, I think it's because like I like grew up like watching or listening to this kind of stuff that like because this wasn't on the album that like I heard, it's not one that like really stuck with me at this time. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't get it. Couldn't get my hands on it.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like, there's not really an excuse now because of streaming, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, there even still is because you can't. This song isn't on the album even when you stream it. You have to go to like their EPs and singles to stream it.
And it's one of those things of like when I listen to this era of Strokes, it's because like I want to go back and reminisce.
Yeah.
You know, I can't do that with this song, and so that's why like it's literally been years since I probably like sat down and listened to it. So,
yeah, this is another one that I think among the community, people like this song a lot. Which I'm not saying, I'm not giving an early review of it, but I feel like when they play it live, people are like, yeah, like this is great. Like, I guess I get it, but to me, it's really it is a good song and it's fun. But it's funny how both of the songs that we're talking about today, it's funny how that stuff lines up. Like when we're doing this, we're able to find a lot of similarities between the two songs, even though it's like basically completely random. I mean, we picked this song because we ran out of songs from Is This It? So now it's the singles from it, and it perfectly lines up with what we're doing, like with the Monkees. But it's funny how it's another song that's like pretty popular among the community, but when you ask any like Strokes fans like favorite song, it's rare that this is the one that they say.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard someone say that.
Yeah, but like this is another song, and it's funny, again, this is another song where they play it live, they're like this is awesome. Which I can tell you why, because if we're going to talk about what stood out, the guitars in this fucking song.
Yeah.
First, dude, it's we're on the same wavelength today.
Yeah.
First of all, like I want to talk about the fucking solo, which the video that I did watch, the live video, it was Nick on the solo. But the like that part of it, like in the solo, I love that fucking part. It's so cool. And I don't know if you guys know what they're doing, but when they hit a string, they're not doing it like this, they're going and they just go like this on their exactly. And it's so like satisfying, that part of the guitar solo. The solo is fucking great. This is a top tier solo of theirs. With how like innovative it is there, but also just the like the when it's the it's so clean when you listen. Like Albert is so fucking clean with the guitar. Like if you watch him play live or just play in general, he has his guitar as high as someone plays bass. So he has it all the way up here, and he's playing like he's playing a fucking bass, but he's just like so smooth like with what he's doing. And a lot of videos I see in these early days, like he's playing the rhythm, he's not playing the solo, but he's just so good. Like when he switches between the like the way he slides up on it, it's like so fucking clean, and it just sounds so good. He knows how to touch a guitar, guys. He knows how to hold it. He knows how to finger it. He's great with it. It's the only way that's the only way I can fucking explain it. But for me, the guitars in this thing, just everything about it, just fucking amazing. So what do you guys have on that?
No, I 100% agree. Did you see that video I sent earlier in the chat?
Yep.
I didn't get to see it yet.
Oh,
it's the same. It's a lot of the same. Like just satisfying to watch. Like the way that they're playing the guitar. It's there's something about Nick and Albert that are just. I've never.
Really cool.
I truly don't think I can say there's a band out there that I listen to that when I watch the bands that have two guitarists, I should say, that work off of each other better than them two. I really don't think so, and that's coming from like a Beatles fan who knows about John Lennon and George Harrison. Like it's so fucking it's so good, the stuff that they've been able to do together, because when you have two guitarists, one person's doing the rhythm, the other person's doing the lead. So while Albert's doing the you got Nick doing something up here on the finger picking, like with single notes that factors into it. And go ahead.
No, keep talking.
I'm done. What?
Sure, you're done?
Yeah.
All right, because you've played like live, right? Like on the stage before, right? And you too, kind of, right? So when you're playing like that, are you like, and you have like two guitars going, are you listening to the other guitar, or like are you just doing your own thing?
I'm not.
Like,
he's a drummer,
people?
so I mean, for me, when I was playing live, first I was playing bass, so bass really listens to the drums, because I think a good bass person does whatever he or she can to match the kick drum of the bass to where it not all the time, but when you can do that successfully, and you have to match the drum. When you're that's how, at least how I play. To make it more satisfying, you don't need to follow them all the time, but a lot of the times when you follow a good kick drum beat, like it's really good. But
it sounds good.
Yeah, but when I was playing guitar and singing, I was rhythm, because I can't play lead and sing. It's too fucking complicated. It's also hard to play bass and sing, because when you're doing all of this with your fingers and doing single notes, that's so much harder to have your brain think of both versus just simply doing chords and singing. So I was rhythm, and we played, the last show I ever played, we closed with Are You Mine by the Arctic Monkeys. It's on YouTube, I have it, and I was singing and playing rhythm. What was frustrating is that the tech was fucked up, so when I watch it, I'm pissed, because my rhythm guitar is turned up so loud, but his lead electric isn't, and he was like the main one. Like, he's the one that's supposed to do a and then when mine came in, mine was the and then like you could barely hear his, and like it was fucked up. But it was at that point we were at a gig, and like it was time to go on. Like, we had to just do what we had. It actually still sounds pretty good, but I just don't like the tone of it, because you can hear mine over that. But anyway, like when I'm playing, I didn't really listen to him. Like, it's more so I try to just match what I'm singing with. But if I was a guitarist by myself, now when you're in a band like this, when you're doing songs like this, you kind of have to, because they work together. I've never played songs where it was so reliant on rhythm and the lead guitarist before, because I didn't really know the strokes when I was playing in shows, and Arctic Monkeys don't really have that. They do, sometimes they have two guitarists, but they don't work off the way that these two do. So I get your question, but I think it's different with everyone, but it's also situational on the song. This song isn't as much a song where they rely on each other, it just works that way. If you think about a song where it does, think of the adults are talking when they're doing like that's, they're like going at each other with their guitars. So like that, they're like looking at each other and they're like going off. But I get your question, but it's different for everyone. For the drummer, like the drummer's the heartbeat of every song. If the drummer's off, then everyone's fucked. Because the drummer's in charge of the tempo. He's in charge of like, and that's the most important thing in a song. If he slows down the song, it'll change the whole song. Like he could just do a and the whole song would be changed into like a Lana Del Rey style song.
I see a lot of like TikToks of like people kicking out drummers because like they're fucking it up on purpose.
Yeah, well, That's
one of those things of like, when you're playing live, I was telling Jared this once before, it's frustrating as a drummer, because people like Jared or like front people, like they have this thing where like every performance is like different, right? It's new. And so like, I'm sure you've seen live versions of songs that you like, but the lead singer will sing it at like a slightly different tone, or like it'll be normal and then he'll just go kind of off the rails for a second. And so if as a drummer, if I'm listening to him, like I think that he is hitting this note at this, he's about to say this lyric. And if I pay attention to the little shit that he's doing where I'm like, oh, that's different, then I just fucked up the whole song. Like the whole song is then thrown off. So anytime that we were gonna go play a show, I would always talk to whoever like was front, to be like, hey, so tonight, you planning on doing anything? Like, you know, I needed to know ahead of time. Like, I was that type that like, just give me a heads up, because it's really easy for we practice this 1,000 times and we've done it this way, and now you're on stage and you're doing it a whole different way. It's very easy to get thrown off. So I like to know ahead of time. That's just me. Some drummers, they just go with the flow. What someone taught me was, he said that this was really smart, and this is something you can apply to like, you know, pretty much any song. Like most people, when they go to your show, right, and they're watching you play, especially if it's you know, like music that you actually like, you're not doing covers, they don't know the chords that you are meaning to play, right? They don't know the tempo that you're meaning, because it's your version of that song. If it's a cover or if it's an original, they don't know that. Like, they're not going to know that you necessarily messed up, you know? And so once I learned that made it so much easier to, like, not worry about, like, people are doing different things. I just have to make sure I'm doing my part right. And
but you can tell when a drummer fucks up.
Yeah, that's very like
Yeah, but that's a good question. That's a good question. Well, yeah, I love talking about that stuff. I miss playing live. I really want to do it. I'm just not a big person that likes to perform by myself. Like I don't like going up and just being acoustic by myself. Like my thing is to be in a band. Like I miss that. That was the best thing. Was being in a band. Can't really see myself doing anything else because at that point I might as well be a fucking country artist. But yeah. Anyway, Will, do you have anything else on your notes that you wanted to get to before we move on to lyrics?
No. Besides, like, it's just a really good, like... Oh, actually, no, I do have some stuff, actually. I'm sorry. It's just, like, a really good garage punk. It's a little, like, punk, too. It's very fast-paced. It's, like, one of his, like, political songs. Mm-hmm. And I agree, like, it doesn't fit on the album. It feels like it should be, like a scene in a movie or something.
Yeah.
It's one of the songs that's only... I don't know if this is 100% true. I feel like this is true because I did a little bit of research. I could be wrong, though. But he only has 2 songs where he mentions New York. This song and then Hawaii, he mentions New York. Every other song, he just says either, like, we're in the city or we're leaving a town or going to find, like, an apartment or something. But he never mentions
New York. That is crazy with how much they love New York.
Yeah, and where they came from, yeah.
Well, Ode to the Mets, I'd count kind of like a New York thing because they're a New York team.
That's true.
But that's a little bit reaching. But yeah, with what they've, like...
But they were
said
specifically
New York,
said New York,
yeah. It's like Alex and food, but not quite.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got for Will's lyrics section?
Well, I got quite a bit.
Nice. Hell yeah.
The one where he says, Nina's in the bedroom, she said time to go now. It's actually a reference to a song called Found a Job by a Talking Head. I guess that's their band name. In the song, they said, Judy's in the bedroom, inventing situations, but, like, it's in the same vocal melody. Like, the same way. I don't know, I guess he, like, just... One of the things they say is just, like, if you like something, just kind of recreate it in your own style. So it's not really copying.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
No,
like
I love when bands... I mean, so many bands, like, do samples from other songs and put that shit in there, so...
But basically, yeah, like, the whole thing, I guess the theme of the song, fast-paced, it's punk, the meaning of it, I had it up there.
I think just the meaning of, there was a certain instance that happened when they were writing it, in terms of what it was about. So it was in response to the 1999 murder of Amadou Diallo. Sorry if I butchered that name. By 4 plainclothes police officers. So it was a response to something that happened before. Where there was an instance in New York with that person. I don't know all about that situation. Have you guys ever heard about that?
No.
So a little bit of that. In early hours of February 4th, 1999, an unarmed 23-year-old Guinean student named Amadou was fired upon with 41 rounds and a lot of... Yeah, I'm not going to read all this because it's not really stuff I want to talk about on the pod, but... It was a major issue. So 4 officers who were a part of street crime unit were charged with second-degree murder and acquitted to the trial of Albany, New York. Firestorm of controversy erupted after the event as the circumstances of the shooting prompted outrage both inside and outside New York City. So that's what it was. That was what it was in response to. You know, New York City cops not too smart. But they wrote this, you know, like 2 years later. So it's sorry everybody. Brendan is yelling. But like. It's definitely important to the world and to them when, you know, 2 years later or 3 years later they're recording a song like in response to that. Like, and like we all know Julian. I can't believe they haven't written another one where they're just ripping on, because these days it's Jesus Christ. There's so much stuff they could write about in response to, which I know is a lot of void stuff, and Julian's very active on socials. And just in general speaking about politics and about, you know, what he believes in, which is awesome. But it's in such a style of the early 2000s of a way to kind of talk about an issue. Like they're just calling cops idiots. That's what it's about. Yeah.
Well, kind of what I got from the lyric is that it's also like a point of view song. And it's talking about him picking up like his drugs from the girl Nina. So we actually figure out who the girl is. Nina is like, I guess, like his dealer in the song. And she's the one that's saying that New York City cops are dumb because she can't, like, it says later in the lyrics, fuck, I literally just had it. just leaving it ain't easy. Like, basically, he can't, like, break his addiction. He's always going back to her. But she's saying, like, New York City cops are dumb. They ain't too smart. Like, they're not going to catch on to her.
Yeah.
Basically saying, like, it's okay. Like, don't worry. Just, you can keep going. And she's kind of, like, feeding him into that addiction. And this is basically, like, him, like, expressing, like, his feelings on it.
Yeah.
And he's, like, kind of pissed off. He's like, oh, shit. And he has to get out the city. But he can't really get out the city. He feels, like, stuck in there. Just trapped in an apartment. She would not let them get here.
Yeah. So nothing, like, super, like, not a song that's super deep. It's just a fun play on words with how they, how they felt about that scenario. But cool. Let's get into fan comments about this one real quick. A lot of people on the comments of this, when I asked what they think, they just said they ain't too smart. So y'all are funny. Y'all are funny on here. Bland_K said, there's this moment in the MTV concert where a girl in the crowd tells Julian something about not liking the song, and Julian says, this is our fucking jam, don't even fuck with that, and that's how I feel about it. I gotta watch that. I didn't see that. Louisa Raptor said they closed out Governor's Ball in New York City with this in 2014, and it was stellar. A lot of people comment on that. I had to beat a couple moshers to death with their own shoes to protect my wife, but it was still fun. Good husband. That crowd was nuts. I just remember wading through a sea of empty cans after the show. 2 kids were super annoying, went berserk during Take It or Leave It, and this super tall and fit dude had a stranglehold on him. Yeah, classic concerts. I love it. Kikando said, means so much to me. That was a hard but bittersweet times of my youth when I have been listening to that song, and it was giving me a hopeful warming vibe, so I got through. Nice, man. That's awesome. Extracted Venom said, forever one of my top favorite songs of theirs, and it's often stuck in my head. Odd Perspective 9833 said, integral part of Is This It? Which, yeah, I mean, I'd agree. This came out after that album came out, and it was another single, and it caught traction, and yeah, so I'd agree with that. Passionate Latino said, one of my favorite Stroke solos. I definitely agree with that. It is a fucking banger of a solo. And then Pit Idiot said, is this Gold Coast big day out? If so, I was second row of the mosh, was fucking awesome, and at the stage they were full of energy and gave a shit. But no, it is not. It's from Summer Sonic 2003, but that would be awesome if you were in that video. I'd love to see myself in a Strokes concert video. That'd be awesome. But thank you guys for the comments. We appreciate it as always. You guys ready for rankings on this? Any of you guys got one off the bat?
Yeah, I got one. I would put this at a 3.6.
Okay.
3.6. It's catchy. Mm-hmm. It's fun, but again, like, I missed out on it. It's not. It almost feels like not part of that era for me.
Yeah.
Because it's really like it wasn't on the album. So, but I get why people like it. It's angsty. It's fun to sing. I think everybody has gone through a phase where they just like, those cops.
Yeah.
Some of us never get out of that. So yeah. I feel like, if you're one of those types especially, maybe this song stuck with you a little more.
Yeah. What about you, Will?
I give it a solid 4.0.
4.0?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Cool.
It is really musically well done, and his lyrics are really fun to sing along to. And I feel like it's one of those songs that the more you listen to it, the more you love it. But I wouldn't say like it's like a masterpiece. It's really, really good, but 4.0 is the most I'll give it.
Yeah. This one's hard. I'm literally between a 3.8 and a 3.9 on this one. I do really like it. It's just I'm teetering on the edge of both of those, and I, oh my god. It's just a point difference. I don't know why I'm stressed about it.
If you have to question it, then would it not be the 8?
It's gonna be a 3.9.
Okay.
3.9. Yep. That's where my mind wants to go. So I'm literally giving 2 3.9s today. It's a good song, and now that I've listened to it the first time in a while, like I would replay that song, and the guitars like alone, the solos, just the way that they are like alone make me want to be like, cool, I want to listen to this more. I want to learn it later and just like get it down. Like it's a fun one that's gonna be to play, to listen to. It's a fun time of a song, which I love. Solo's great. Guitar, bass is great. And that's something we didn't talk about either. Like the bass on this one, like he was going crazy on this one again. It's nuts. What?
I would say there was one lyric I forgot to include like in my actual notes. And this cause I wanted to say because I don't know when I'll actually get to mention this ever again. There's a part where he says "sometime in your prime," and he just randomly just says that as like a lyric. And they made a song called "In Her Prime," so some people think that's like an allusion from this song to that song because they never released the song "In Her Prime," and I was like, "Oh crap!" And I found like the lyrics online, and I was like making up the song in my head how to go with the strokes. And I was like, "Oh crap!" I was gonna tell you guys, and I looked it up on YouTube, and there is a version of the song you can hear, and it's really cool. But it's called "In Her Prime," and it's on YouTube. It sounds really realistic. It says released like years and years ago, so it's not like an AI version of the song, The Strokes.
Nice.
You can't. I guess you can't find it anywhere else.
Yeah.
They never released it or anything.
Nice.
It's not on any album, but
Yeah, that's interesting.
it's not even a single. It's just like a song they made. It's just out there.
Yeah. Let's give
It
that a
sounds
listen.
pretty
Cool. What have we been listening to recently, fellas?
Let me go first.
Yeah.
I was listening to a lot of opera recently.
Oh, nice.
Especially this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting into it. I was listening like the Phantom of the Opera soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Can you name one of the artists?
I know one of them, like, it was like the London Symphony was playing with them. Their names are kind of like foreign. I forget.
Ludwig something, usually.
Ludwig is a good one.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I don't know if that's actually a person. I'm just saying that's usually the name of an opera person.
no, like I'm pretty sure that's a
Is
name.
that someone?
I guess.
Let me
yeah.
see. I'll give you like. I literally looked up on Spotify like best opera, and I just hit play, and it was
Just
like
a
Game of
playlist.
Classics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to really know like opera artists, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like
It's kind of like most people like, it'd be like, oh, I've heard that song on like a commercial, or like
Yeah.
I've heard that on like.
once you
I
go
don't
through
know.
like your Beethovens, your Bachs,
Yeah. You
Like-
pretty much heard it all.
it's gonna sound like if
Yeah.
it's professional.
Giuseppe
it'll be-
Verdi. That was one
Verdi?
person's name.
I've heard of it.
Gioacchino Rossini.
You want to say that one again?
Yeah.
How do you say that?
Giancarlo Esposito.
Giancino Rossini.
Giacchino. Yeah.
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
Wolfgang. Worst name.
Okay.
Who's that guy? Never heard of him. What a stupid name.
Mhm.
Mozart.
I was
Yeah,
listening to some
jeez.
Rufus.
Nice. Yeah, Rufus Wainwright. Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of 21 Pilots. Their new album came out, so I didn't think I was gonna be a fan right off the bat. But it grew on me pretty quick. And it's a solid album, like 13, 14 tracks. It's very well produced. Their lore is really interesting. I read a full Reddit thread that took me like 10 minutes to read through, but they're incredibly in-depth and creative, and I love when bands can do that.
You gotta explain it to me because I have no clue what's going on. I just
It's
listen to
so
the
hard.
music.
There's so much stuff.
Oh,
And it was a big deal. Like
wanna get into it.
when Fall Out
The
Boy
lore.
did their like thing where they made a video for every song on Save Rock and Roll, and it was like, easy to follow. But like their whole discography isn't a story. It was just that album. But 21 Pilots lore is literally over the span of all their records, and it's so complicated and confusing. But
That's my next thing.
But yeah, but I can try to describe it. Or I can have you read it. But it continues it, and the last
Show me where to
music.
start. The first album?
No, it's kind of like Star.
No.
It's kind of
You don't
like
start
No,
at the
don't
beginning?
start where you
Yeah.
think you would.
it's
No.
kind of like Marvel. It's kind of like Marvel.
Whoa,
Where like you could watch them out of order but in order, like, and it's kind of like that. But it's
Cool.
really interesting. The last music video for it releases in June to give us like an idea if there's going to be one more album or if they're doing more or what's going on, because the way the album sounds or the way it ends is literally the blurry face saying like, "Hello, Clancy." It sounds like he just got to where he's trying to get to, and like that's where the album ends. So to me, it can't end there. Like, we got to figure out what happened. So I feel like if they're gonna do something, it's at least gonna be one more album. At least that's what I take it. But the music video will tell us for sure. But I love bands that are able to do that shit. It makes it so much more interesting. But Manny, what do you got?
So I've actually been taking a break from. I'm musiced out right now. I've been listening to too much music, and I'm like, okay, I gotta break this up. I don't know if you guys ever go through stuff like that. Where
Yeah,
they're like,
I listen to a shit ton of podcasts.
yeah, like I've been
Yeah.
podcasting a lot lately, just because like I haven't really been in the mood to listen to music all like that. I still have. The other night, I think I was telling Jared like. Me and my lady like watched the most of the $2 Strokes concert because she had never seen it, and I like downplayed it. I was like, "Oh, well, it's pretty good. Like they'll probably like it." And she, like we watched about 40 minutes of that, and it was so fun. But besides that, yeah, I haven't really been listening to anything. But maybe I'll check out the new 21 Pilots album, and whoever that Mozart guy is. I don't know.
Fucking Wolfgang Amadeus.
I probably wouldn't even be able to find any of his stuff because he's like irrelevant.
Jared, give me your best opera sound.
It's pretty good.
That's the high one. That's like the
I was
one.
thinking a deeper sound. That was really good.
No, there's an opera scene in Malcolm in the Middle that I really like, where Bryan Cranston does like an opera, and it's funny as shit. He's like, like he's down there like that shit. I just like fucking hurt my throat doing that. It hurt.
Yeah, when they wavered like, oh,
yeah.
Like how?
You can't even understand what they're saying. Like, what are you saying right now?
It's literally just the thing from Step Brothers when he goes. No, the drum solo. That's where you come in. That's where you come in, Manny. It's so sad how I have that whole fucking thing memorized.
What if that's just? I just always thought that was like Italian or something.
And it's probably not even real opera. But to me, the way he was singing sounds like a mix of like opera. Anyway, that's a perfect way to fucking end that episode.
That was awesome, actually.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. All right, guys, tune in for our next episode. Please like, rate, review, and make sure you stay tuned for our opera album that we'll be releasing in 2027. It's going to be Wolfgang Amadeus, Manny, Jared. And that's how it's going to go. So,
I love it.
Yeah, we will see you guys next week. We're on at about 2 more official episodes until the season is fucking done. And we can tell you guys, next season we're going to have a new setup. It's going to sound a lot better. Trust me, we have crazy fucking shit that's going to be happening. I'm not going to really get too into it right now, but we got some big stuff coming. So stay tuned, follow the Instagram. Please follow the Instagram. There's 8,000 of you guys engaging with the page. Please just follow it. That goes a long way.
Like 13 million streams.
Yeah, everyone's liking and everyone's liking and commenting the post, but no one's like following the page. So share that around. But anyway, guys, we love you, and we will see you next week. Bye bye. Hey guys, it's Jared here. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. You can find us on all our socials at Karma and Tranquility, and Twitter, Karma and Tranquil. Our link trees are posted in every single description on every social, so you can access everything that we have to offer. And we will see you every Wednesday for our normal episodes and every Friday for a bonus episode.